Hello everyone. So today I am going to discuss about some basic concepts of biology. Just before zooming into zoology, just before moving to the core zoological concepts, we should know few basic things like classification, taxonomy, systematics, and such things. So without knowing this, we would not be able to understand the significance of our subject. So today we will discuss about the history and the types of classification. So as you all know that life originated roughly 3.7 billion years ago on our earth, and there are a vast number of species present. And the most exciting thing is many organisms are not yet discovered. So we need a system to classify these organisms, and as you know that same organism or its different kind of variations may exist across multiple locations on our earth. So they would be given different names according to their location, though all of them are biologically same organisms. Here comes the idea of biological classification. So let's take a look at our history of classification, how the things get started. Okay, so you can see that around 350 before Christ, Aristotle classified the organisms based on morphological characters and their habitats. Okay, so as you can see, I have already noted that he actually categorized all of the organisms into two parts, like plants and animals. And again, he divided plants in the subtypes like herb, shrubs, and trees. And he also categorized animals based on presence of red blood. Okay, so that kind of animals who possess red blood, he called them enema, and those are without red blood named as anema. Okay, so enema and anema are two category of the animals. Okay, then we can see that he also classified the animals based on their habitat, like aquatic animal, terrestrial animal, aerial animal. Like what mean by aquatic? Those animals who live in water body. Okay, those live in the land masses are known as terrestrial, and those who can fly. Okay, so they are termed as aerial. So Aristotle divided all the plants and animals in such categories. Okay, so after that we can see that Pliny and Elder also divided animals as flight animals and non-flight animals. Okay, so the flight animals, like those animals who can fly, like bats, insects, birds. So he categorized all those animals in a single category. Okay, and again those who cannot fly, like all those organisms apart from flying individuals, he categorized them as non-flight. Then we can see that Theophrastus, as known as father of botany, okay, he divided plants into four categories like herb, shrub, undershrub, and tree. And again, he also classified plants like annuals, biennials, and perennials. And he named and also he described 480 plants in his book Historia Plantarum. So uh, you can understand that how much of a study he did at his time. Okay, so he had not only named but also described all those plants in his book. Okay, so uh, if we consider that time when everything was not much developed, so that was a huge job. Okay, so moving into the next, that you all already know the name like the Carolus lineus. Okay, so Carolus lineus classified plants into 24 classes based on their numerical strength of stamens. Numerical strength means how many numbers of stamens are present in a flower. If there is one stamen within a flower, it is called as monandria. If there is two stamen, it's known as diandria. If there is three, it's called triandria. If there is many stamens present, so those are called as polyandria. Okay, poly means many, so this is polyandria. And if a flower lacks stamen, so if there is no stamen present in a flower, so we can call it as noandria or cryptogamia. Okay, so this is what Carolus Linnaeus did, and his work cannot be uh, spoken in a small words or in a very small span of time. We can discuss it separately in a another video, right? So this is a huge topic. Okay, so next we can see that Epidecandole, he actually divided the plants based on their uh, presence or absence of the vascular tissues. Okay, like he divided into two categories: the cellular plants like algae, bryophyte, those who lacks the vascular tissue, and those who possess vascular tissue like the pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms. As we know today, those are classified as the vascular plants. Okay, so next we can see that Bentham and Hooker classification. Okay, so they wrote genera Plantarum, and they also provided the biggest natural classification, and they proposed a new term called the spermatophyta, which is actually composed of 202 families. Okay, so spermatophyta has three classes according to them, obviously, which is dicotyledony, gymnospermy, and monocotyledony. Okay, and the numbers represents the members of these groups. Okay, so dicotyledony can again divided into polypetally, gamopetally, and monoclamidy. So polypetally groups includes those kind of plants whose flowers possess free petals, like whose petals are free from each other. Gamopetally is those kind of plants who has their petals in joint form, and there is monoclamidy, those kind of plants who does not possess any kind of petals at all. Okay, so this is all about Bentham and Hooker classification. Again, this is also a huge topic. We can discuss it in a completely separate video. It will take that much of time, so uh, we are just um, we are just trying to cover the whole thing in a compact form, like overall idea. So that's so can uh, we can get a general idea of the whole thing, like how the classification system evolved from past to present. Okay, so next we can move to AW Eckler's classification, which is the first phylogenetic classification. Based on the phylogenetic relationship, he divided the plants into two subkingdoms, like the cryptogamia and the phanerogamia. So those kind of plants who has flower are known as phanerogamia, and those are lack of flowers known as the cryptogamia. Next, here is Engler and Prandtl classification. Okay, so there is some controversy, like actually which is the first, who is the first one, like A.W. Eckler for the first phylogenetic classification, or Engler and Prandtl. So it is in a few places it's considered that Engler and Prandtl has proposed first phylogenetic system of classification. So they arrange the flowering plants based on the complexity of floral morphology. Okay, so and also in their consideration, monocots are considered as primitive to the dicots. Okay, so next we can see Oswald Tippo's classification. Okay, so who had classified Thallophyta and Embryophyta, these two groups of plants. So Embryophyta again divided into Bryophyta and Tracheophyta. Bryophyta, those who composed of non-vascular plants, and vascular plants are all included in Tracheophyta group. Okay. Next, here is the Hutchinson and uh, Taptajan classification. So they proposed a very improved kind of phylogenetic system of classification. Okay, so this is the most improved version of phylogenetic classification, and this is all about how classification systems actually evolved from a very past time to our present time, and we have discussed this all of them in a very concise manner. So if you need detailed analysis of all each and every I mean classification system proposed by different authors, so we can make it also in different videos. They will itself, actually this is actually made by their complete thinking, their work. They worked on these things throughout their lifetime, so we cannot just concise them in just two lines or two words. So it's just an overview for you all to get a complete vision about all the whole thing. Okay, so this is the classification, and also I must say that there are so many other type of classifications present here, which I have not included. Okay, but there are so many. There are so many which could be included in this. So you can also read about all those systems, how the things actually evolved, how the things actually came into their mind, and how they organized their ideas into such organized form. Okay, so next we can see the types of classification, and I'm sure that all of you were already familiar with this, like two kingdom classification by Carolus Linnaeus, who just proposed the two um, different types of organisms, like kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Then comes the three kingdom classification of Ernest Haeckel, who included the kingdom Protista. Okay, so the three kingdoms are kingdom Plantae, kingdom Protista, and kingdom Animalia. Next, we can see that four kingdom classification is also there. Four kingdom classification was given by Copeland, which includes kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. And the five kingdom classification, which you all have already read about this, is Whitaker's five kingdom classification. The five kingdoms are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. And lastly, the most recent is sixth kingdom, or we can call it also as three domain classification. Okay, so the three domains are domain Archaea, domain Bacteria, and domain Eukarya. Domain Archaea composed of kingdom Archaebacteria. Domain Bacteria domain Bacteria includes the kingdom Eubacteria, and domain Eukarya possesses four kingdoms like Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So this is all about today's video. We will discuss some other topic in next video, and you can also suggest that what kind of video you want in your next classes. So if you suggest any topic you needed, so I will try to make that also. So thanks for today. Thank you all.